As I said in part 1, every single row you start the same way. You will puff stitch, just one, and if you need, use your stitch marker to mark the top of the row. Once you get familiar, you don't even need the stitch marker, but it's good to have when you're new to the puff stitch, new to the jasmine stitch, and helps you to making sure where to connect the rows. So each row you start the same, always one puff stitch, and now we're starting adding 3 puff stitches to each section of the flower. Yarn over, go back to the same stitch, yarn over, go to the next stitch, and pull yarn through all your loops. Go back, make tighter if you have to, and you are done. You repeat this process in row 3. You'll actually see how your jasmine stitch fully appear. You will see the full flower in your design, or the full star. Each flower should have 6 petals. We're kind of making hexagons. So we always start from the top, bottom, and next. And all together. It's very simple to make once you learn puff stitches. They can be a little tricky when you're pulling yarn through all the loops, but if you lose that yarn, just go back, remove the stitch, and start all over. And I found this stitch looking very nice when the yarn has different colors, because nature has a lot of colors, and those are flowers we're making. So I'm in the middle, kind of in the middle of row number 3, and you can see nice jasmine stitches, full circle, full hexagon I should say. And each flower is supposed to have 6 petals. And the way you look at this, the 3 rows creating either one big jasmine stitch or 2 halves. So if you want to make this as an ear warmer or just a winter headband, you can use 3 rows, 4 or 5, depends on the size of your headband, and then you just slip stitch in the end and you are done. If you want to make this as a beanie, at some point after the curvature of your head, you need to start reducing stitches. So we will no longer have 6 petals in this stitch. We will be making this a little bit different, and I will show you this when we get to that point. Continue making your puff stitches 3 at a time in each row, starting with 1 puff stitch in the beginning of the row, and then remember to close with 2 puff stitches and close to the top of your row. I will show you this closing one more time. Little tip, when you're pulling yarn through, what is easier for me, I hold my piece like this. I do not work like that. And I have 3 puffs, so when I pinch this yarn, I'm actually holding the whole piece like this, pulling my hook up to making those 3 puff stitches open. Then when I take the yarn with the hook, I twist the hook that way to just go through, and you can take your time just to be sure that you go all the way through and connect all the loops together. So let me do this one more time. 2, 3, and then I hold the whole project that way and take my pinching yarn, pulling this yarn to the right, and at the same time that will give me space to nicely go through all the loops. So I hope that will help a little bit explaining how you make this easy for you, because we always want to make something easier, not more difficult. I started crocheting when I was 9, which was way years ago, but I love it all those years. In row number 3, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals already here. So it's the same principle what in row number 2. You just want to add 1 petal here and 1 to the top. We will make only 2 puff stitches connected to the top of the row. So let's make 1, yarn over, 2, and we do not yarn over because we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 puff stitches going this way, and now you can see we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 puff stitches here. So we go to the top of the row, and as before, we pull through. Keep this as your pinching yarn, pull through, go back and slip stitch. And when you look at the half, which is just your row, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and you start row the same way again by adding 1 puff stitch to the top. Work as many rows as you wish for your project, and I will meet you when it's the time to reduce stitches to complete our beanie.